Okay, so one guy is literally making $800,000 a year selling coconut dust, the stuff people used to literally pay someone to throw away. No, seriously, this is real, and by the end of this, you're gonna be mad at how much money America is leaving on the table. Quick context first. Europe and the US run massive indoor farms, no soil, just a growing medium. For decades, everyone used peat moss, swamp dirt that releases methane when you dig it up, 25 times worse than CO2. So we were literally destroying the planet to grow tomatoes. Classic. The US ships in 96% of its peat moss from Canada every single year, hundreds of millions of dollars, for swamp dirt that we could replace with coconut trash. Researchers needed an alternative. Turns out it was sitting in India being set on fire. When you process coconuts for fiber, there's a dusty byproduct left over called cocoa peat. India had mountains of this stuff and literally zero use for it. People dumped it in rivers, set it on fire. When cocoa peat catches fire, it smokes for a full week. One piece of husk, 7 days of smoke. The neighbors were absolutely not okay with that. Dutch researchers looked at this so-called garbage and went, wait, this is actually better than peat moss. It absorbs 10 times its weight in water, perfect pH for plants, naturally disease-resistant, and coconuts grow back every single year. Peat moss takes thousands of years to form. There is genuinely no competition here. Now enter Anis Ahmed, biotech grad from Chennai. Grew up in the coconut industry, studied in Scotland, and one day it clicked. The thing we're burning at home is what the entire world is desperately searching for. In 2012, he started Global Green Coir from scratch. Raw material cost? $0. People were gifting him cocoa peat just to clear it off their land. Name literally one other business where your biggest input is completely free. I'll wait. Here's what makes his process so smart. He washes the cocoa peat multiple times to strip out salts, because raw cocoa peat will burn your plants if you skip this. Dries it in sunlight, free energy, then compresses it into hand-sized bricks. A brick you can hold in one hand, drops into water, and expands to 9 liters of growing medium. Ships tiny, explodes huge at the destination. Logistics costs collapse. Someone give this man a supply chain award. But his real superpower, he didn't just sell plain cocoa peat, he custom blended nutrients for each client. Tomato greenhouse gets one formula, rose nursery gets a totally different one. He wasn't selling a commodity, he was selling a tailored solution, premium pricing while every competitor raced to the bottom. That's the exact move. Result? $800,000 a year from coconut gust. The global cocoa peat market is $3.2 billion today, heading to $4.6 billion by 2032. Now here's the part that actually makes me lose my mind, what America is sitting on right now. We are the second largest importer of cocoa peat in the world, buying 24% of global supply. We are literally paying other countries for processed coconut waste while throwing our own coconut waste straight into landfills. Let me show you state by state how crazy this is. Florida. The state has a massive coconut producing and food processing industry. All that coconut husk? Landfill. Meanwhile, Florida, California, and Texas together account for over 50% of the entire US greenhouse and nursery production volume. Florida's green industry alone is a multi-billion-dollar sector with over 45,000 commercial greenhouse and nursery operations nationwide, all needing growing medium. A cocoa peat processing facility in Florida could supply the entire Southeast market with material that's currently being thrown in the trash. Texas. Bro, Texas's green industry just hit $39 billion in 2025. $39 billion! It's one of the top 3 green industry states in the entire country, alongside California and Florida. They grow everything: ornamental plants, vegetables, herbs, all in greenhouses needing growing medium. A domestic cocoa peat supplier in Texas could plug directly into this market tomorrow. There is no American Anis Ahmed doing this yet. That is a wide open lane.
California. This one is the most urgent. California agriculture is a $50 billion industry, producing more than half of the nation's fruits, nuts, and vegetables, and they are in a permanent water crisis. Without action, the state is staring at economic losses of $3.4 to $14.5 billion every single year from water scarcity alone. Up to 900,000 acres of farmland could be forced out of production. Now remember, cocoa peat holds 10 times its weight in water. Farmers using cocoa peat as a growing medium slash their irrigation needs dramatically. In a state literally rationing water, that's not a gardening product, that's an economic lifeline worth billions in saved agricultural output. And zoom out even further, the US vertical farming market is expected to hit $7.5 billion by 2032, growing at nearly 20% every year. Over 1,950 vertical farms already operate across the country. Every single one of them needs a growing medium. Right now, they're buying imported cocoa peat from India or still using peat moss. A domestic producer could take a massive slice of that market while cutting import costs and reducing carbon footprint at the same time. The home gardening market is the icing on top. Post-COVID gardening in America never slowed down. Millions of Americans are buying potting mix, mostly peat-based, from Home Depot, Lowe's, and Amazon every weekend. A domestic cocoa peat brand marketed as sustainable and eco-friendly would absolutely eat in that space. The consumer is already there. The demand is already there. The raw material is in our landfills. Here's the summary of what America is doing right now. Importing a product we could make at home from waste that we're currently paying to throw away to solve a water crisis that's costing us billions in a farming sector worth hundreds of billions. Anis Ahmed figured this out in Chennai with zero funding and free raw materials. Imagine doing this with US infrastructure, US scale, and a direct pipeline into a $39 billion Texas green industry, a $50 billion California agriculture economy, and a $7.5 billion vertical farming market. You're not building an $800,000 business, you're building a $100 million business, minimum. The trash to treasure pipeline is real. We are literally standing on it. Someone just needs to pick it up. Thanks for watching, buddy. See you next time.